I believe collective bargaining is not just a legal right. I believe it's a human right. You know, what is collective bargaining? Collective bargaining is just sitting down and talking about hours and conditions of employment, benefits, and workers' rights. That's all it is. I've been working at Marist for over 15 years. I believe that we need to stand with the adjuncts, we need to organize, and we need to come together as one. I believe we need to also recognize our CWA brothers who are here and sisters. They do a great job in the clerical. This is a community. This used to be a family. We need to stay together. We need to become a family. And we're going to enter into contract negotiations, and we're going to be asking for the community to stand with us while we negotiate a new successor agreement.
I'm usually giving a poetry reading, but today this is entirely different. Okay, my name is Raphael Kosek, and I'm a member of the organizing committee for Adjunct Action here at Marist College. I've been an English adjunct for the last 10 years at Marist. I'm a published poet with a book and 2 Dutchess County Arts Council fellowships. I have a master's in American Lit, and I am very fortunate because I love what I do in the classroom, provoking students to see and feel America through the eyes of its literature, to think and write critically about the ideals embodied in our democracy, and to marvel at the power of language. My students recognize that I am passionate about literature, the written word, and democratic ideals, which always offered people hope for a better life. I've also come to learn that most of my adjunct colleagues here at Marist share these same passions and ideals. Teachers are the backbone, the heart of any educational institution. We care deeply about what we do and our students. And because I've always told my students that in order to gain anything worthwhile, you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone, these shared ideals have given me confidence to move forward in unity, which is why I'm on the organizing committee for Adjunct Action. I support the right to collectively organize, for I believe unionization will help to improve adjunct working conditions and student learning. In one of his short stories, F. Scott Fitzgerald says, quote, "At 18, our convictions are hills from which we look. At 45, they are caves in which we hide." End of quote. We can no longer hide in the caves, waiting for others to lead us out. We can no longer be complicit in the uneasy complacency of our own reality. We ask that Marist College administration to not invest student tuition dollars in a fierce campaign to undermine my colleagues and my right to organize.
Yeah!
I call on the administration to instead respect the democratic process and remain neutral throughout the process. Please support us in this very democratic and valid endeavor. Thank you.
I'd like to start off by saying that some of the best professors I've had at Marist have been adjuncts. These are professors who introduced me to my field, built my skills, and gave me confidence and newly discovered talents. So imagine how disheartening it is when you go to register for that professor's class next semester and you find they may not even be there. Every year, at the end of the semester, students realize professors who did so much for them may not be back next semester, and you can see the toll it takes on student morale. This is why I support adjuncts, because it is our duty as students to support the professors who have done so much for us. It's about standing up for an important part of our college faculty. The treatment of adjuncts not only affects the professors, but it affects the students they work so hard to forge relationships with. Some of the most important bonds in the college experience are the ones students make with their professors. These are relationships students cherish. They want to come back as alumni and thank the professors who invested so much time in them. As a college that emphasizes small class sizes and student-professor communication, it should be a top priority to keep these educators by any means necessary. I not only support the plight of adjunct professors, I can personally relate to it. I know what it feels like to work a full-time job for less than part-time pay. I've worked 40 hours a week at a place where I was called an on-call employee. I put the same amount of work, effort, and passion into my job as any full-time employee, but I was still treated like a second-rate worker. And it's hard to stand up for yourself when you're considered less than part-time, because you really have no say in anything. On-call employees have no protection from unfair termination and have no support system to help assert themselves. So as nice as my manager seemed, I didn't want to rock the boat because I needed my job. But no one should be in this kind of situation, especially not the educators of tomorrow's workforce. I've never seen a difference in teaching quality between an adjunct professor and a full-time one. They put in the same hours, give the same quality education, and care about their students just as much as anyone else. There is no reason they should be treated differently. It's unnerving as a graduate student to know that even after 4 years of college, I could still end up at another job that hires me part-time to do full-time work. I can't imagine trying to pay off all my student debt with a job I may not have in a few months. This is why I'm here today supporting adjuncts, because they are such a critical part of our college environment, and on some level, we can all relate to them. Whether you are a senior prepping for the real world, a freshman just starting their college adventure, or an experienced professor with tenure, we can all relate to the plight of adjunct professors. Here at Marist, we're a community, and when someone in your community asks for help, you stand with them.
Thank you. Hello, folks.
Hi.
Glad to see you on this sunny day. My name is Joe Fahey, and I'm chairperson of Catholic Scholars for Work of Justice, an international association of scholars who came here today to say we stand with the adjuncts in their struggle for justice. We stand with the students who support them in their struggle for justice. We stand with the faculty who support them in their struggle for justice. And we know there are administrators of goodwill who can't speak publicly, but who also support them in their struggle for justice. So who doesn't support them in their struggle for justice? It's the trustees of Marist College who set the policies that appeared in that letter that the provost wrote to you, and quite frankly, it's an insulting letter. Catholic social teaching states that the right to form or join a labor union is based on the right of free association, the very same right as is the freedom of religion and the freedom of assembly. That right belongs to the workers alone, and the employer doesn't get to say whether or not the employers should exercise that right.
Right.
In fact, the employer in a Catholic institution and an institution with a Catholic heritage like Marist College, and by the way, I'm a graduate of a Marist high school, St. Helena's High School in New York City. And I learned about social justice from the Marist brothers. I learned here on this campus when I used to come up and make retreats. I learned at the summer schools of Catholic Action conducted by the Jesuits, who first taught me, who first cut my eye teeth on support for workers, support for the poor, support for the disenfranchised. And who are the poor and disenfranchised at Marist College?
Adjunct.
Who are the migrant workers at
Adjunct.
Manhattan College? The adjuncts. And so those of us from the Christian tradition or any faith tradition or no faith tradition have a moral obligation to speak up and to stand with these adjuncts in their struggle for justice. And so if the provost wants to write a letter and saying he's against unions, he can only go so far as to say he's against the union for administrators, because that involves him, and he has a right to say that. But he has no right to say, and no right to, by implication or in any other way, discourage the rights of the workers here at Marist College.
That's right.
Human beings and people of faith have a moral obligation to encourage human rights, and those human rights are enshrined not only in the natural law given to us by God, those people of faith believe, they're enshrined in the Constitution of the United States, they're enshrined in the Bill of Rights, they are enshrined in the International Charter that deals with rights of workers, in numerous documents around the world. And universities worth their salt should be supporting and encouraging workers to exercise those rights. It's their decision and theirs alone. I'd like to read you a statement of support that we have put together from Catholic Scholars for Work of Justice. This is our statement of support for the adjunct professors here at Marist College. Catholic Scholars for Work of Justice stands in solidarity with adjunct professors at Marist College who seek to form a labor union to bargain collectively for just wages, job security, health and retirement benefits, and other improvements to the workplace that befit their dignity as human beings created in the image and likeness of God. We call upon the trustees of Marist College to support their employees as they assert the right to free association that is rooted in the natural moral law and that serves as a cornerstone of Catholic social teaching on workers' rights. We strongly encourage the faculty, the students, the administrators, and the staff of Marist College to stand in solidarity with the adjunct professors as they pursue this noble cause. And a noble cause it is. What greater cause then can there be but for workers and human beings to stand up for their rights and for worker justice? And so I have a message to the adjuncts. You are not alone. Scholars from all over this country stand today with you. St. Thomas Aquinas in the 13th century stands today with you. The early fathers and mothers of the church who railed against the riches and the abuse of power stand today with you. And Jesus Christ himself stands today with you, who said, when I was hungry, you gave me to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. I was naked and you clothed me. Who are the naked and the thirsty among us? They are the adjuncts. God bless you all.
Good day, everyone. I'm a member of the Adjunct Organizing Committee. I'm also an elected official in the village of Rhinebeck, also a parent and a grandparent. I had tried in a number of ways to become a greater participant on this campus and in my department. I got rebuffed at every turn. I was treated like a second-class citizen and had come to believe that I was powerless to do anything about it. And thanks to the opportunity I've been given to sit with my fellow adjuncts and to organize ourselves and to lead towards a vote on a union, now I feel like I have had my self-respect restored to me. A couple of things I wanted to address. The issue's been raised by other adjuncts who are talking about, and the administration is talking about, the third party, the nefarious third party and outside influences. And I just want to say that historically, it's very clear what these outside influences have given us. Things such as weekends without work, things such as Social Security, things such as the Family and Medical Leave Act, and I could go on and on. But we wouldn't have any of those things if it were not for unions. Also, I want to say, in addition to the third party, there's actually a fourth party that they're going to be concerned about, and that is the National Labor Relations Board. Gerard has made the point to us that perhaps the most important thing we're fighting for is a grievance procedure. When we have our union, we will be able to file grievances, and the National Labor Relations Board will get to decide whether the grievance has validity or not. So, as another union member told me, once we get our union in place, actually it was a state senator told me, once we get our union in place, the full-time faculty will be very jealous of us.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me wrap up and just say this is a victory that's waiting to be won. The numbers are with us. There is some dispute as to exactly what percentage of classes that adjuncts teach here, but it is a huge chunk. I urge you all, look, you want to know how many adjuncts there are, get a general picture, look at the course offerings right before the semester and see that upwards of 75% of the courses, the teacher is listed as that great teacher, TBA, to be announced. That is what parents see. It's an embarrassment. When their parents look to see who's teaching their students' courses, that's mostly what they see, TBA. And that tells you why so many of us will not find out until late August whether we're teaching what we're teaching. So that certainly doesn't lead to good quality in the classroom. So we have set out the goals. The organizing committee is setting our priorities. That's what a bargaining unit will do. It'll be up to us, the adjuncts here, to determine what we go for, and if we stand together, we'll reach our goals. Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, hello, greetings from New Paltz. My name is Peter Brown, and I am the chapter president of the New Paltz United University Professions. UUP is the largest union in the nation in higher education. We have 35,000 members. We have 900 over in New Paltz, and I bring you the support of our members. We have a lot of people, a lot of entities supporting us here today. When I look at the situation at New Paltz and compare it to the situation at Marist, I think we have a real luxury. Our starting salary is higher than yours. Our starting salary is $3,000 a year. I understand yours is about $500 less. Our adjuncts who teach 2 courses a semester get the same health benefits that all the full-time tenured faculty get. That's worth about $13,000 a year. They get retirement benefits. When I go into labor management and talk to our president and our provost, and I think they're pretty bad, they tell me, well, why should we pay more? We're paying more than Marist. So I got sick and tired of hearing that year after year after year after year. So a year ago, I started a 5K campaign. That means a national campaign demanding $5,000 minimum starting salary for adjuncts all over the country. Woo! Earlier this year, I tied that into a new entity which also has a website. It's called the National Mobilization for Equity. And Joe Fahey and his group and SEIU and NYSET are all supporting the National Mobilization for Equity. We stand behind you. We support you.
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Ron Harris, and I'm an adjunct here at Marist. I started in January of 1979, and I have taught continuously until now, and also in the summer school until 2006. So I have a long history. I've been here a long time. Now, what we are asking for here is nothing that is going to cripple the college or set it back in any way. In fact, I think everybody's going to gain if we should become a unionized group. The kids are certainly going to gain because they love their adjuncts who can relate their industrial experience and their corporate experience into the classroom. And also the college will benefit because they'll have us there to teach. And like we said, it's 75%, so we're going to be there anyway regardless. And thirdly, the parents who are paying big bucks, and they will be gratified to know that we, the experienced adjuncts, are there, guiding their kids to meet the challenges in the workplace today. Now, when I came to Marist, there were just 5 buildings, a couple of brownstones, there was Donnelly Hall, the chapel, and Champagnat, one dorm, one single dorm. Today, if you look west, you'll see that has been expanded all the way down to the Hudson River. Now that's what you call expansion. That's what you call growth. That's what you call prosperity. And I would dare say that the adjuncts have been a part of that prosperity. Yes. There's no doubt about that. We've helped them make money. So what we're going to be asking everybody to do is to get all the adjuncts for every place in this college to support us, to stand with us, so we can go forward and negotiate what is really ours. A few years ago, about 40 years ago or so, there was a law firm that formed in New York City. It was called Jacoby and Meyer, and they were aimed at supporting the lower echelon of society, giving them representation in court, rights, and that sort of thing. And at the end of their logo was, "Come to Jacoby and Meyer. It's about time." So we're going to say right here to the administration here, it's about time. It's about time. It's about time. Thank you.
you got it. My name is Josh Robbins. I teach here in the School of Communication and the Arts. I'm full-time here, but I wanted to say a couple words in support of the adjuncts who wish to organize, also in support of the folks here who are already organized. I was thinking about reasons why I supported unionization of the adjuncts, and I really didn't know where to start. It's obvious they're undervalued here. Their pay is inadequate. They have no benefits, no job security, and that's unacceptable in my opinion. They're highly educated, highly qualified, and many have extensive professional experience, which these days is more important than ever. They do the bulk of the teaching here, and that makes them, as much as anyone else, the backbone of this college. But the biggest reason I could think of for supporting them as they strive for more respect and a stronger voice here is balance. This is an institution that is out of balance in my opinion. It's out of balance on the side of administrative power in a way that doesn't serve the faculty or the students or the community. And I would argue it doesn't even serve the administration to be this out of balance because it's contrary to the mission of the college as it stifles academic freedom. I've seen firsthand how this lack of balance harms academic freedom. When faculty feel that they can't speak up because they're vulnerable, how are they supposed to teach students to speak up about issues that are important to them? How can they advocate for the interests of students or of the community if advocating might put their own livelihoods at risk? It's not the role of a professor in a healthy institution to watch what they say or to keep a low profile, but that's quite often the reality here. Last year, the AAUP complained to administrators and members of human resources here about the lack of academic freedom stemming from a lack of faculty job security. So it's not just we who see this connection. So for the health of the institution, for the students, for the community, I feel that all the faculty here need a stronger voice and more protections. A more respected, more appreciated, and more at ease faculty will itself be evidence of a healthier learning environment for our students. A union for the adjunct is a critical step. A union for the adjuncts is a critical step in that direction, and I wish them strength and solidarity in their quest toward that end. Thank you.
My name is Jim Gescheidel. I'm the Executive Vice President of CWA Local 1120. CWA 1120 has represented the staff at Marist for almost 30 years. Our bargaining efforts and collective actions have provided our members with good wages, health care, safe working environment, and most of all, respect from their employer. Marist College has had the benefit of having a skilled, professional, hard-working workforce. The students also benefit from having knowledgeable members assisting them with their issues. We've all heard about the Marist community, right? I strongly urge Marist College to do the respectable thing and acknowledge the adjuncts and stop blocking them and allow them to organize. Thank you.
So let me just finish it off with, like I said before, I'm the chairperson of Local 200 United, which has been represented here for over 40 years. We, just like CWA, have negotiated a good contract, good benefits, and we demand respect. Change is not something that's just not given. Change is demanded. And the way you change is you stand up and you fight back. That's the way you change. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you.